Hello everyone and welcome to Xanakin's Manga Review. Please forgive me for the setup that you see behind me right now. But ignoring that, jumping into Chapter 859, the Yonko Assassination Plot. What a chapter. Now, a few things that we have to mention right ahead is that Roger's base, King of Lightning, Sawyer, everybody that I've seen said that if we got the plan this week, that it wouldn't work. Which makes sense from a writing standpoint. Why, as an author, would you tell everybody your plan just to draw out the plan, and pretty much you're repeating exactly what you just said throughout multiple weeks and panels and chapters. So now we know the plan's not going to work. The question's just what part of the plan isn't going to work. Now, knowing Luffy and the Straw Hats and the way that Oda writes, not only that, but the fact that we're giving Gastino, my boy Gastino, the fact that we're giving all of them major important roles. These are independent variables, and we don't know anything about Beige. He's got to have a side angle going as well. We just know that the plan's not going to work. The first thing that we get is that it's going to take 5 seconds for the plan to happen, which, as has been mentioned before by one of Caesar's subordinates, 5 seconds is no laughing matter as far as being able to buy that much time with the amount of people that are going to be there. And that's another thing this chapter and a few other chapters have really hinted at. We have no idea who's going to be at this tea party. It's going to be the who's of appearances. Now, with Big Mom planning what she's planning for the Germa, I'm thinking that anybody that she invited is likely enemies of the Germa or somebody who wouldn't be upset by that plan unfolding. So it'll be very interesting to see how that pans out. The other thing is the commanders. They talk about the commanders being there. I'm wondering, do we get to see Cracker again already? If so, what matchup does he get? Because we're not just going to get a repeat, and Luffy can't afford to dodge, eat, finally land a punch like he did last time. The other two commanders, are we going to run into them at all? Who's going to be their matchup? There has to be some type of matchup, but who's here that can stand up to them? You would think maybe Sanji's family is going to play a part of that. But it's just hard to power scale where we're going to be at. After seeing the amount of effort that it took to bring down Cracker, it'll be very interesting to see how they go about being able to handle 3 of those people, plus Big Mom and everything else. And I think this is a lot of the reason why people don't think that Luffy's going to be taking down Big Mom in this arc, maybe even ever, is that they think that she's just too far ahead from where Luffy's currently at. And I think that's a fair thing to say, because Luffy struggled so mightily with Doflamingo, who we've now learned is very low on the tier of things. But sometimes I think it's matchups. I think you see this a lot of times in sports. Just because A beats B and B beats C does not mean that A would beat C. We're used to, in manga, power scaling, like this guy's stronger than this guy, and this stronger than this guy, so on and so forth. But sometimes it's how your styles match up, too. And Doflamingo had a lot of things going for him. And Luffy had a lot of obstacles on his way to see Doflamingo. Anyway, digressing back to this chapter. Our boy Gastino, what's going to happen with him afterwards? That's the real question that I think Oda's intentionally leaving vague. At one point, we get a panel with Capone, Luffy, and Gastino all lined up saying that they'll go their separate ways the moment they hit the ship. But where's Caesar really going to go? He doesn't have his own boat. He doesn't have his own crew. He doesn't really have anywhere he can go now that he's not under a Yonko and not under the protection of the government or anything like that. It's very curious what's going to happen to him. And a lot of people have been sleeping on my boy Caesar. They really are sleeping on him. I know a lot of people don't want him as a Straw Hat. I personally do. I think that it would be an interesting element. There'd have to be some character development there and maybe some, I don't know, coming to an understanding, some type of penance. But we'll see what happens there. Mother Caramel, that's another thing. We find out that Big Mom has a weakness, and it's a photograph. I mean, the bigger you are, the easier you fall. Maybe one of those things. But the real question is, who is Mother Caramel? Now, I think the name Mother Caramel instead of brother, sister, everything else that we've heard before, I think that's important as far as trying to piece together who Mother Caramel might be. And I'm thinking it might be Big Mom's mother. A lot of people, with the way that Oda writes, like to think that maybe, oh, this is a connection over to Bonnie, or this is a connection to a character that we've met or seen before. And I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm not positive on that. But I think Mother Caramel is probably Big Mom's mother. And we'll probably get some backstory on that here or there, but I don't think it'll be anybody we've been introduced to before. unless one of the commanders that Urog managed to bring down was Mother Caramel. Now that would be very interesting because it would tell us two things: that likely Mother Caramel is both dead and that Urog is alive despite doing such a major thing to one of Big Mom's beloved people. So we'll see how actually tearing the photo goes. I think that'll be even a harder task than what they envision it being. Luffy's grand entrance, I can't wait to see what it's going to be. That's one thing that Oda will not stop from happening. Whatever ridiculous thing that Luffy's going to come in doing, it's just going to be amazing. I don't know if it's not going to be so obnoxious it doesn't throw off his own group, but we'll see how that goes. The Pudding conspiracy. Now, at the end of this chapter, we get a glance of Pudding, and she pretty much sounds like she's tired of all the things that have been going on with Big Mom. She's tired of following the orders. She doesn't want to get the dress bloody. She doesn't want to do all the work, all these other things. And a lot of people have a conspiracy going around that they believe that Pudding is going to actually be some type of usurper. Maybe she's going to play a role in defeating Big Mom. I think it would be huge. Some people have mentioned her devil fruit power, but I think that there's a lot of complications that could come with her devil fruit power as far as a writing standpoint is concerned. There's a lot of things Oda would have to have in place in order for her changing something to make sense, or in order for it to work in a way that would change somebody's opinion. It's Inception when they, in the movie Inception, they talk about, well, it has to be an idea that seems like the person came up with it on their own. You can't just go in there and plug a thought in. And it's going to have to be something very fundamentally powerful for Big Mom to change her stance, or for something to really be changed about it. But me personally, I don't think Pudding is going to play that big of a role. I think she's going to do something that shocks us. I think at least that much has been set up. But I think it'd be hard to really make her a key point in all this. They painted her as evil. So for her to do anything remotely beneficial for the Straw Hats, or at least extremely beneficial for the Straw Hats, would be a surprising thing for me. I've never bought into Pudding. Back when everybody was saying she would turn evil or anything like that, I wasn't so sure, and I ended up being wrong on that. So maybe I'll be wrong here again. But I'm not interested in her as a character, and I don't want a bunch of small factors to contribute as to why Luffy ends up coming out on top on this arc. Now, a lot of people, and a little side tangent / rant, a lot of people have been sleeping on our boy Luffy as well, though. We talk a lot about how we're going to get out of this arc, where everybody's already looking forward to Wano. How's Luffy going to escape? How are they going to get Sanji out of there? Will Sanji be able to save his family? Yes, he will. Maybe not all of them, but he'll save at least his sister. I mean, but honestly, there's too much that's been set up with Reiju. We have to leave with Reiju. And where she goes from there, I don't know. Maybe she leads the Germa down a better path or something, but who knows. Anyway, but a lot of people are talking about how Luffy can run away. I don't think that is what Luffy wants to do. I don't think it's what Luffy will do. He had a very passionate moment with Fujitora where he said, no, I'm not running away anymore, and he tried to square up with him. Now, certain things worked out in his favor, and he was able to get away in that scenario, but I think Luffy, as he said before, he's tired of running. I don't think Luffy wants to leave this island without beating Big Mom in some way or another. Now, we see with Doflamingo, Luffy had no problem working with somebody to bring somebody down and having a helping hand here and there. He's become much more mature in the sense that it doesn't have to be all on him. It doesn't have to be all through punching, that other things are okay. So maybe it is a group effort that brings down Big Mom, but I think Luffy has to be such a big chunk of that group effort for this to mean anything to defeat Big Mom. Because make no mistake, there's no escaping. I think we've made that clear. I think our boy Pedro made that clear. I think a few others have made it clear. It is very difficult to escape Big Mom. And I think it's going to take a lot of help, but I think that she's going to be brought down by the end of this arc. And I think I'm in the minority of thinking that. And I think Luffy has to show that maybe he's not on par with her, but he's getting to that level. There's got to be something that we don't know about. There's got to be some type of just force unleashed from Luffy that helps us understand how he's going to be able to take on Kaido, how he's going to possibly be Pirate King. I think without a defeat of Big Mom and the other Yonko, Pirate King means nothing. Alright, if you like the video, please like, review, comment, whatever else you have. Please tell me what your thoughts are on what Pudding might end up doing. I don't know. Who do you think Mother Caramel is? There's lots of things to discuss. Leave it down in the comment section below. My name is Anakin. Again, I appreciate you guys, and have a good night.